Hey, what's up everybody? This is Anthony from Anthony's Customs, and for this review we are looking at the Alien Boiler, the Xenomorph Boiler, which is a really cool looking figure. I'm not a fan of the Boiler design, but the color scheme just really stands out. It looks awesome with this kind of a black wash, or maybe this tan color dry brushing. I'm not sure how they actually applied it. It looks like maybe a wash, but it's just a really cool looking figure. And even though I really like the high gloss bluish black with all of those kind of highlights, this is a really nice contrast to that, and it's a really cool looking figure. So I'm happy to have it. It does have some new sculpted parts, obviously. We have all of these kind of lumps and boils throughout, and then we have this neon green boil looking stuff going all the way around, all over the place. Looks really cool. And then we have this lumpy back, really kind of creepy looking, and lumpy head. Really cool looking figure. I'm really happy with how they did it. We have a new tail design again. And this one is bendable as well. It's a little more stiff than the other ones, I think, just because it has more material here to kind of fight back against that wire, but it still poses pretty well. And it looks really good. They have the tan colored hip joints in there, so that's good. Unfortunately, the knees and elbows are still black plastic, so that tan paint that they have on there, it doesn't go through to the insides of the joints, but it's really not that noticeable, especially since we have all this kind of a darker black peeking through the tan anyway, so that's okay by me. And he stands about 5.25 inches tall, just the way I have him posed right here, so it's pretty cool. Pretty good scale for a 3.75 inch Xenomorph. He comes with a metal grate base, just like the other ones, if the camera can focus. Peg holes in either feet, so you can put them on there. You don't need the base, but it does help. We have an open pod this time again, so seems each wave comes with a closed pod and an open pod, so that's kind of nice. Good paint detail, good sculpt detail. Does come with another one of these guys. Again, it would have been nice if the tail was posable like the big tail, but it's still a good little accessory. And then he comes with a total of 8 hands again. Slightly different sculpts than the one we just looked at, than the spitter. These are kind of a more closed hand. And then we have the 6 alternate hands here. Kind of an open hand, a very similar kind of open hand, and then another kind of similar open hand again. So a little bit of redundancy, but you can't complain that they're giving you extra accessories. It would have been nice if the sculpts were a little more varied, but still 8 hands is good, even if they're just, because if you break one you have a spare one. That's nice anyway. So like I said, it'd be better if they had more variation, but still kind of good that they're there. So as far as articulation goes, it is a double ball peg for the neck. On this guy at least, I'm not sure about the spitter, but you get a really good range of motion out of this. Look, it can look all the way around. It does of course bump against the backpack there, so you can't look up. But that's more of a flaw in the character design, not the figure itself, so that's okay. Good range of motion otherwise. Ball hinge shoulders, they swivel at the torso and have the hinge there. Elbows hinge here and then swivel in the bicep, and then the wrists are just pegged in, so they just have the swivel. The torso is it's a double ball peg, it looks like. I can actually see through enough on this guy if I try hard enough. So they do have a double ball peg for the torso, gives them good range of motion. The hips, they swivel in the groin area, and then they swivel in the thigh, and then they are also hinged. Of course, this kind of cap right here is going to get in the way of the articulation, but you can still get pretty decent poses out of it. We have the hinged knee that swivels in the thigh, and then we have the hinged ankle that swivels in the shin. You cannot really get a great on all fours pose, but I guess you can kind of make do with it if you want to. It's just, they're definitely better looking when they're standing up, and they're a little more imposing when they're standing up. And I'm thinking maybe they'll do like another wave where they have the ones that can go on all fours a little bit better. But these guys definitely look good standing up on just the 2 feet. So this one's really cool. Like I said, I don't like the boiler design necessarily, just in that it's all lumpy and not as cool looking as the more sleek ones. But this figure is really cool looking with the variation in the paint, the contrast in the paint. And then it's nice contrast to the other figures too, so I do like it and I do recommend it. Thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned for more figure reviews, custom figures, and other good stuff. And in the meantime, keep collecting.